Okay, let's talk about the play that crushed the hopes and the dreams of the Buffalo Bills against the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship. So let me get this out of the way. I don't like the call. Offensively, I do not like the call. I don't like going into empty protection, okay, and the most important play of the season, of this game, I mean, even of some of these guys' careers, right? I don't like going empty protection, leaving five guys in to protect, especially against a blitz heavy team like Steve Spagnuolo is, right? I just don't love it. Another thing is, I think this is a really poor job of recognizing defensive tendencies on Joe Brady's part, on the offensive coordinator's part, because one of Steve Spagnuolo's biggest tendencies as a defensive coordinator is when teams get into these condensed splits like the Bills are in here, Spagnuolo is going to blitz them. That is what he does. It is what he has always done. He is going to blitz condensed sets. So I don't like getting into a condensed set here in the most important play of the game and pairing it with empty protection. So I don't like that. Right. And so, concept wise, it's a good concept. Right. So we're going to get essentially mesh down here at the bottom. We're going to get the crosser or the deep corner, whatever you want to call it, post from the tight end, and then Matt Collins is going to kind of fall behind him, right? And it's going to be open, right? But it doesn't matter again because of the blitz and because of how the Chiefs were able to manipulate the protection of the Buffalo Bills. And another thing here pre-snap that I think should have thrown Josh Allen off a little bit and kind of perked his ears up is so over here the Buffalo Bills you have one, two, three, four eligible receivers. Okay. And then as far as the Chiefs go, you have one, two, three, four defenders that can drop out for them, four receivers. So that's 4 for 4. That's not ideal defensively. Usually, especially when you get like a four receiver set to the passing strength and they're all eligible, you want to at least be +1, right? You want to at least have 4 or 5 over 4, or if not more numbers, right? But in this case, you have 4 for 4. And then at the top, the Bills have one eligible receiver. That's it. But if you look, the Chiefs have one, two, three defenders over there. So that's three Chief defenders for one Buffalo Bills receiver. That right there should tell Josh Allen, hey, they're coming from this side 100%. It's a numbers game, it's math. There's only 11 players on the field. You can only do so much with the math, right? And if we see four over here for four receivers and we have three defenders over here for one receiver, that should tell you right away the pressure is coming from over here. So, in a perfect world, and I get you got to put this thing into perspective here on the road in the playoffs. A lot of pressure in the moment, right? It's easy for me to say here sitting in a chair, right? But the ideal thing to do is to change the protection. Slide right, and you live to fight another day. But so the Bills are going to send Khalil Shakur in kind of this orbit motion here. They're kind of trying to see if it's man or zone, right? Nobody comes with it, so hey, we know it is zone. And at this point, I know a lot of people were wondering why he didn't throw here to Shakur. Well, first of all, because right off the bat he has pressure in his face and he's rolling right. Why is he rolling right? Well, because his primary read is going to be to the right side, right here, and it's going to be open again. And he does end up getting the ball off, and it should have been caught, but that's beside the point. This right here, just an unrealistic throw, and also you had a Chiefs defender right here, eyeing the flat, so that's unrealistic, right? So pressure in his face immediately, he still gets the ball off somehow, and this just has to be caught if you're a Buffalo Bill player. It just has to be caught, period. And it wasn't. But let's get into the protection side of things here. So again, I hate the empty protection call. I hate it. 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 Right? Again, most important play of these guys, lives probably. Right? So empty protection, right? You only have five offensive linemen to block for you. That's it. You have five, so they are going to block the most dangerous five chief defenders or who they feel is the most dangerous. In this case, they guess wrong, right? So, they're going to end up sliding to the left. So, in theory, you would get here, here, here. The backside, you would probably get here. And then the right tackle would have a big duel. So, he's just going to read this guy and this guy. If this guy were to blitz, he would have to take him because he has the quickest path to the quarterback. If this guy were to drop out, then he would kick out for the defensive end. Now, in this case, he actually doesn't do that and he kind of has a brain fart, but that's a little, beside the point, right? So let's press play here. The problem is the Bills are going to slide left, but the Chiefs are actually going to drop out that way, you see? And so the Bills essentially end up sliding three guys for one man. And then the backside is kind of just screwed, all around. And, I want to pay attention here to um, the right guard here. So he's in the right? He's following his guy. 79 should be the one stepping down on this safety. 79 should come down and block the safety. He doesn't, and in turn, it leaves a free guy in Josh Allen's face, right? What can you do? You know, again, in a perfect world, Josh Allen sees the extra defenders on this side. He changes the protection, and maybe you can pick up the first down. But here, right tackle has to step down, has to squeeze block, and in turn, that would leave 56 unblocked as well as the cat. Right, the cat blitz, the corner blitz, but at least then you know exactly where your pressure is coming from, and you have a little bit more time than what you have when you have a safety with a free rush right into your face. So, again, in a perfect world, we change the protection up a little bit and hopefully try and pick up a first down. But obviously, that is not what happened, and that right there has to be caught. I mean, like if your quarterback is able to get this thing off still somehow, getting hit, drove into the ground, and I understand the tight end is coming with his momentum going this way, right, and the ball is kind of just falling down here, and he has to try to stop and contort his body, and put himself in a position to make an almost impossible catch. Oh, but man, I just feel like he could have done it. He could have done it. He was so close, right? So, again, a beautiful design from Steve Spagnuolo, right? Again, but to recap, I just don't love it. As an offensive coordinator, one of your jobs is to counter the tendencies of a defensive coordinator, right? And again, like I mentioned earlier, one of Spagnuolo's main tendencies throughout his entire career, going back, as far as even with the Giants days, when teams get into these condensed splits that are inside the numbers, right? He is going to blitz you. He is going to blitz you. So Joe Brady, he has to know that. He has to know that, and he has to have a counter for the counter. And again, I don't like. It's like a double. It's like also like not only did you get into these condensed splits, but you also decide to go empty. So it's like a double whammy here that you just kind of didn't account for in terms of what you were expecting the Chiefs defense um, to do, right? But again, putting things into perspective, I'm a guy sitting in a chair talking about it. It's a lot easier for me. I understand that. But at the end of the day, it was just a masterful performance from the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Bills played well also. And, despite what happened here, they actually had a chance and got the ball back, or had a chance to go on defense and stop the Kansas City Chiefs to have a chance to get the ball back. And, we did, we know how that went. Andy Reid, one of the best play callers of this generation, if not all time, iced the game out with a couple of nice calls that the defense wasn't expecting. So that's that. I do appreciate you guys watching. If you like this type of content, consider liking it, subscribing. I appreciate it. Peace.